Alright, so here we are playing with Botwoon. Kip asked me to do this video, and what I don't want to do is make it a full tutorial, because this is actually Decalled strat for Botwoon, and this is something that he and I were talking about in his stream. He's planning on doing a tutorial at some point. At least he said he's thinking about it. So I don't want to make this a full tutorial, but Kip was just going over this in his practice, and I finally said something. I've noticed something a couple times in practice, and I don't really feel like I have a place saying anything, because Kip is much more experienced in this game than I am. And even though I've been working really hard the last 4 months since I started running this game on this route, particularly incorporating this strat, he obviously understands a lot more about the minutia of movement and timing of inputs and things like that. But I did notice the last couple times in practices and occasionally in runs, something that just looked a little off in the setup of the movement when Kip was doing this, and so I decided to speak up and say something, just sheerly out of the desire to help, because I have drilled this particular strat to death, and I thought that I might be able to offer, in my own very small way, something that might be helpful going forward. And that's really what I love about this community, right? I love how much people help each other, and oh, whoops, so that was wrong. I held shoot early there. I held shoot going into the door instead of through the transition, which is why I charged there. So I'll just talk really quickly about my setup. What I did here in this room was to do the Botwoon, the pre-Botwoon speed, blue speed, whatever it's called. I'm having a little brain fart. To get through these speed blocks. And it looks like what I do in my runs and in my practice is pretty similar to what Kip is doing, which is to essentially bonk up against this and then down grab and run through this door. So I hope the setup is appropriate. So just a nice down grab there, and then just holding right and dash. I think my button mapping is a little bit different than Kip's, but it is right and dash and no other inputs. You should be able to see there going through the door. And then in the door transition is, I have to wait here a second. There's like a little half-second glitch, not a glitch, but like a little half-second hiccup in the save state every time I turn it on, or reboot the save state, I should say. So down grab, right and dash through the door, and then I hold angle down, which I have mapped to left, and I continue to hold dash and right through the door as well, and then shoot, obviously, right? The key is to have that shot coming off as you go through the door, which I think, you know, obviously Kip was already doing, but that is what I'm doing as well. And then so I just might let my momentum from the previous room carry me into the wall, jump more or less when I hit the wall. So there we go, I finally missed a particle there. I'm having a little bit of a hard time talking about it and playing at the same time, so I'll have to go back and look at why I missed that one particle. But I think the key is really, right, it's getting those particles to track with Samus appropriately. So I usually release dash in the air on the way up in the jump, because I find that having dash pushed really messes up my ability to properly move this spot. And typically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to land just about there and then move my way up to this spot in the floor. Maybe I'll do it this way. Right, so come into the room. Oh, of course, the wall. Okay, that's annoying. Right, so jump and land just about there. I think that's a little bit too far forward. I think there's wiggle room here with where you land specifically for sure. Like Kip said, you know, we're not tasks, we're humans. But I usually aim for somewhere here where Samus's front foot is, and then without dash held, I can stop on a dime right about here. So there's these two pipes that meet up there. They seem to be riveted together. There's like some rivets there and some rivets there. And I usually try to hit that spot with my stop on a dime. And so between that distance from there to there, right? And the visual cue is when the particles converge, sometimes right around the top of Samus's head, like Kip was showing, but oftentimes in my setup, and I haven't really looked at the setup completely between mine and Kip's. I need to compare them a little bit better. But they tend to converge usually slightly behind Samus when I do this setup. There we go, I missed another particle there. But I mean, I think as you can see, this is really consistent for me. And I don't think I would have missed those two particles if I wasn't talking during this. I find it kind of difficult. I'm still actually learning how to even interact with chat on my stream. I've been playing the game for about 4 months seriously. I've played it since '94 when it came out. So if I can make some small contribution to the consistency of this, I hope to be able to make similar contributions. I really love this game. I love the community. Since Kip will probably be watching this, I'll take the opportunity to say that I think the stream is awesome. The setup that you did for the multi-category tournament with all those other folks that helped run it was fantastic. It really pulled me into the community and showed me what a cool place this can be. And in the time of this pandemic, I'm a scientist. I work in a lab. I actually study COVID. So my life has been pretty hectic the last couple of months. I've had to cancel vacations. I've had to redo my entire scientific career to focus on studying this virus and how the immune system responds to it. So Super Metroid has been, you know, alongside my dog and my wife, Super Metroid has been the biggest outlet that I've had. And I'm actually almost a little emotional talking about it because this community has been so supportive, and grinding Old Route has been so much fun. With people supporting me and watching me and giving me tips and being able to contribute to everything that this community is. It's been really wonderful. I haven't been able to go out and see friends because of the pandemic, right? I mean, a lot of people are, you know, we're making a lot of sacrifices to try to keep each other and our community safe. And as a result, a lot of what I do now is work in my garden, you know, or like, you know, be with my dog and my wife, or play Super Metroid. So I hope that I can, as I grind and as I get better, I can continue to give back a little bit to the community. In addition to being a scientist, I'm a teacher. You know, I've taught biochemistry and immunology and a bunch of other things. I know Kip is a professor as well, so, or, you know, a college professor, college teacher. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just happy to be able to contribute in some small way as I learn. You know, try to keep my ears and my, whoops, I held shot through the door there. That was just a mistake on my part. I just hope to be able to be a good, upstanding member of the community, lift other people up. You know, I like to pop into people's streams that are at all levels, especially folks who are running a lot slower than I am, and see if I can offer some assistance and some help. I want to be a student of the game. I want to do things the right way. So I hope nothing's taken the wrong way, Kip. I really appreciate, I think did I hold shot through the door again there? No, that was fine. So I don't know, I think that's a pretty consistent setup. I don't know what I just did. I'm streaming for 10 minutes, so I must have done, I don't know, 50 attempts or something like that. So Kip may have not even gotten this far into the video, I doubt, which is okay. But this is a great setup. It is a way more consistent means by which to get good setups on a lot of the Botwoon patterns, and there are certain patterns where you actually can knock out Botwoon before his head even, the left early pattern here, the one that comes down here, you can even knock him out before he even snakes back up off the floor, and that can give you a sub 13 rune time, which is pretty incredible, regardless of what route you're running, right? Okay, I hope that was helpful. Whether or not it changes anything about the way people do stuff is totally fine. I'm just happy to talk about strats and give a little bit of input to the community. So I'm just going to cut it off right there. I need to do some yard work, and then I'll be back probably to do some sub 50 attempts and see how far down I can push this in the next couple weeks, because my golds have been coming down like crazy. And in my segment practice, my golds are into the 46-minute range right now. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see where I can push this category, and then I got to figure out what I'm doing next after. But I'm sticking with this game for the foreseeable future. All right, I'm going to cut it off there and say thanks to Kip and whoever else watched it, and hopefully this spurs some good discussion going forward. All right, take care, y'all. Bye.